What up, everybody? Happy Saturday morning. The pinball wars have been fun to watch over the last few years between Toy Shock, Well Played Arcade, Arcade One Up, and AtGames. But has supreme victory been declared? Has AtGames done the impossible? Have they overcome the monster monopoly that is Arcade One Up to give you the best virtual pinball experience, at least in this small time commercial home arcade space? I want to get your feedback. That's right. This is the community reacts. This is your guys' feedback. We're also going to go over all the FAQs. There's a lot of hidden information that's not in those press releases and things like that. Well, some of it is, but we really need to dive into it. That way, myself as well as you can make informed decisions. And if we're going to have this conversation, there's only one man that it makes sense for me to do this live stream with. And you know what? I think you'll know who it is when I play this. We're back, baby. We're back.
We weren't canceled after all.
Yeah, so what's funny is you came on. I invited Steven on because I mentioned to Steven earlier this morning. I said, Haywood, a few years ago, you and I were the ones that broke the news about the AtGames Legends pinball. And it was a big story, and everyone was super excited about it, including ourselves. And it only seems right that I have this conversation with you a few years later. Steven pops onto the live stream like 10 minutes ago. This is why we were late. And he's wearing the get up. And I was like, oh shit, I should have worn my Legend Center shirt and hat. And I ran in my bedroom and I'm trying to find it. And I'm like, wait, we got people waiting. We got people waiting. I can't find it. I had to come rushing back. But I was like, we got the intro. We'll play the intro. But man,
I don't even think it ever fit you right, even when we did the show.
No, because I was they ordered like a 3XL from some Chinese polo shirt making company overseas. And I happened to be, well, back then I was heavier than I am now, and it did not fit me right. It did not fit me right. Now because I've lost some weight, it would have probably fit me just fine. It would have probably fit me it'll probably fit me just fine. All right, guys, we're going to get your guys' feedback. I'll put a number of polls in the chat, but again, don't go anywhere because we really need to go over these FAQs. I know everyone's super excited about the Legends Pinball 4K, but there's some need to know information that might impact your purchasing decision. And if there's one thing Haywood and I like doing, especially even when we did Legend Center, even though they asked us to host that show for them, one thing that we did was told it like it was, at least in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
And of course,
their sponsored show, right? We always told it.
Right. Yeah, and you lied it. You would make fun of me and insult me on the show, and it was
good times.
It made for a fun dynamic. And then of course the what is that? The
pie, the infamous pie in the face. Come on.
Yes.
That goes down in history as the best skit ever done on the internet. Come on.
Yep.
You got to give it dubs.
So I saw this from Calvin. Calvin, I am proud to say, man, that I have no active NDAs with any company. So I have no active NDAs with any company. Any NDAs I've signed in the past have either expired or been nullified due to companies going out of business. So I have no NDAs with anybody at the moment.
I have no NDAs either. So this is going to be an interesting show. Let's just say that.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the funny thumbnail. I was like, did you see the thumbnail with me wearing the cigar? Did they declare victory? Did they declare victory? So first poll we put in the live chat. We're going to end this poll right now because we got to say hi to the live chat. I asked the audience here, or the early comers, the people, the early riser troopers, the ones who heard the bugle call to assemble. Do you like the Addams family artwork? 73% said yes. 26% said no. Haywood, what is your reaction to the Addams family artwork?
I like the idea of the Addams family. I like the idea of potentially having them skin them. What I don't like is it looks too haunted house-ish. It looks like on that render, it doesn't look as bad, but on some of the other renders I've seen, it has that really green AtGames feel to it. I think they could have did a different color. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm, being hard on this, but I just really feel like they maybe like an eerie like orange or I don't know, black with like some yellow in it.
Yeah, when I was streaming with Michael B last night, he was really pushing that since the Addams Family game that's coming to AtGames and the one that Zen Studios did is a recreation of the original Williams table, they should have done the original Williams table
Yeah.
artwork, which is more bluish in color, if I recall,
Yep.
versus all the green. But I guess they're going with this custom design. Maybe it's cheaper to do their own design versus licensing the original artwork. You never know. You never know the reason why these decisions are made. Me personally, I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's minor. It really is. It's
yeah,
minor. It doesn't affect the gameplay in any way,
yeah.
shape, or form.
I mean, I think it looks cool enough. Some people don't, and that's totally fine. That's why we all share our opinions, right? That's why we
Mhm.
all share our opinions. Let's get that off the screen right now. So, what was your reaction to finding out the news yesterday? I real quick, in case you missed the show last night, Stephen, I had a bad migraine. I wasn't feeling good. I took off work early and I took about a 3-hour nap before Super Game Room Dudes. And right before we went live, they made the announcement, and my phone was blowing up, people waking me up, and I was so grumpy from being woken up, and I still had the migraine. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling well on the broadcast last night. I was grumpy as all hell. But hey, man, it is what it is. Um, so I finally slept on it, and now I'm feeling better and able to talk about it. But what was your reaction like when you found out?
So I was at my daughter's football game last night. So yeah, I didn't catch any of the show really toward the. I think I got in when you guys were toward the end, and then I had to jump on Mr. Rightway's show at 10. But
Hmm.
um, I saw it floating around social media. I saw you know it was in there. My first initial reaction was Arcade One Up is never ever producing another pinball. Like I mean, they were trying to say that was the creme de la creme when they came out with it. Like, if you didn't have pinball effects, you were nobody. But now that AtGames has it,
Hmm.
it kind of, I mean, they have just about every good IP. I I was kind of stoked because I wanted to see how this was going to be. Are they going to do it like you would do it on your Switch or on Steam, where you have a launcher and you pay for the games, and then you can just play whatever one, depending on what skin you have. It doesn't really matter, and play those games. Um, I was excited. They're giving me a reason to at least think about buying the 4K pinball. Before I had no reason. Like I was just like, yeah, the one I have is good, upscaled 4K.
Yeah, I myself included, with how much money I've put into my standard Legends pinball, I was like, do I need to spend the money
Right.
and get the 4K? Because really the only thing I'm missing is the 4K piece of it. Like all the things that AtGames is including with this machine, including the solenoids and stuff like that. That's all stuff I've added over time to my pinball machine back there, the deluxe back box I've added. And it's like, do I really need it just for a 4K screen and 4K versions of the games?
Right.
Um, but we'll dive a little bit more into that as well. I asked the live chat, I said, hey guys, what was your initial reaction? Shampoo Swan says he was blown away at the partnership and the price point for the early orders of 10.99, which we'll dive into, is just right for him. Bonos Tecmo says At Games is making moves. Scotty B says he is more interested than he was before.
Mhm.
Conti agrees with you, Stephen, that Arcade One Up is done with pinball. I think this is the nail in the coffin for them as well. Uh, Sailor, I can't. Sailor Shy Shibby. My
Yeah,
reaction was
sure.
Arcade One Up dropped the ball. Rest in peace, Arcade One Up. Herb Wars is here. Make sure you guys check out him on YouTube. PDubs is the man. We got Bo Knows Tecmogun. They're thinking the greenish look is spooky or something, I guess. There you go. And we got a $5 super chat from Scott. If the DMD is really well integrated, a lot more retro titles become available, and the buttons are more responsive than my original Legends pinball. I'm in. There you go.
Let's
So
talk
yeah,
like that green color. Let's go back to that for a second. Okay.
sure, sure.
Um, Maybe I'm just jaded in the sense of the Toy Shock when it came out. It was that haunted house
Yeah, the green.
green. Then you have the Legends pinball, which I have behind me. I still have the stock artwork. It has that green on it. I guess looking at it, I was like, really, Addams Family, kind of the same way you and some of the other guys were like, it would have been nice to look at the original artwork, but again, it's minor. It's not the end of the world. Um, I,
Yeah.
I I just think it looks too similar, in my opinion.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that with having that opinion. So I'm gonna have this play in the background here for a little bit. Let's pull this up. Let's take a look here. We're gonna start at the beginning and work our way definitely to the FAQ and need to know information, guys. So grab a cup of coffee, grab your bowl of cereal, especially if you're on the West Coast here. You're on the East Coast. I know it's noon there, it's lunchtime. Pick up a sandwich, sit down and enjoy the broadcast, and we're going to dive into those FAQs. There's some great information there that you guys need to know. You notice we got a new logo, Steven. It says, let's pause it right there. Oh, let's go back a little bit. We got a new logo, and
See, that looks more blue there
uh,
for the
here
legend.
it is. All right, you notice now we got the Legends Pinball 4K, and then they're going to have the FX Legends 4K Collector's Edition. Now, once again, guys, AtGames is not really sharing information anymore with content creators, except for maybe one or two. So, unfortunately, sometimes we're left to speculate without that kind of transparency. But when I look at this, it tells me that there's going to be multiple versions of these 4K pinball machines. There's probably going to be a standard version, probably
Mhm.
with multi-K type artwork, kind of like what Wagner had, right? And that Wagner showed off in his videos. But
Oh.
take a look here. FX Legends 4K collector's editions. And according to the press releases with Zen Studios, which we'll pull up the press release here momentarily, they confirm that they're each artwork style, like let's say the Addams family, they're going to make 5,000 units of Addams family, and then that's it. Everything is plaqued, numbered, collector's edition. Then they go on to the next skin. So there's going to be multiple skins, artwork options, as well as you'll notice we got two different logos here. So that tells me there's going to be multiple versions of this pinball machine. So, don't be in a rush to order if there's going to be multiple versions of these machines, at least in my opinion.
Well,
We need all the facts first before we
well, that's what I
order.
was going to ask you. Was there
Yeah.
any, again, because I didn't get to see any of this, and he's right. I'm in that At Games chat still, and they literally told everybody after they posted it to social media.
Yep.
And my question with this is, maybe they've said it, maybe they haven't. Is the original talk was it was going to be 4K 60 hertz. Now, did they say whether this is going to be 4K 120 hertz? Because that's kind of a deal
Yep.
breaker in some instances. Because at 4K you need 120 hertz. Like my screens and stuff that I play regular
Mhm.
consoles on, or nothing's under 120 hertz.
Yeah. Yeah, 120 would be preferred. Wagner's videos confirmed it was 60, and
Yeah.
he did mention changes that he at least got confirmation from At Games on, such as the coin door we saw isn't the coin door that's on the final version of the machine.
Okay.
He mentioned what was going to be changed. He confirmed 60 hertz monitor in the text of his videos, like in the descriptions, not in the videos themselves. Like he didn't say anything about them going with a better screen, but 4K 60 hertz, just a heads up there for you guys as well. Super chat from Nicholas. Maybe this is a hot take, but I would have liked At Games 120 FPS
There you
pinball
go.
over 4K. So yeah, there you go. And then we got a $2 one here from Steven. Can we buy the Zen tables directly from At Games? Well, what you would be buying is the Zen tables that are ported and made specifically for the At Games ecosystem.
Oh, so you're
So
buying them twice if you already own them, like say for your Switch.
yeah, so if you have them on your Switch, if you have them
Okay.
on your Steam, your
Okay.
Epic account, if you have them on your console, your PlayStation, your Xbox, you will have to repurchase the At Games version. Because keep in mind, the
Hmm.
At Games version you're getting, what Zen Studios is going to do is they're going to make basically an upgraded Android version of the game that'll be available in the At Game store that'll run natively on the hardware, which is why OTG mode is so important.
Hmm.
Because let's be honest, the version probably is not going to be as good as a console version or a PC version because those usually have much better hardware than these single board computers that these home arcade companies make, right? So that's again, guys, very important need to know information is the versions will probably look, and we talked about this on Super Game Room Dudes last night. way better than they did on the Arcade 1-Up hardware. You guys remember the difference between those Star Wars games running on an Arcade 1-Up single board computer versus playing those Star Wars games on your PC? The difference was tremendous. I'm sure they're going to look way, way better, but are they going to look as good as how they look on consoles and stuff? Well, let's see. Zen's got some pretty good developers and stuff working in house, but I would not expect it. I would not set the expectation way up there
Well,
that
that's what I was gonna
these
say. Can
yeah.
can we set the expectation right now? No, no, I'm being se and I'm not being listen, I'm not being hypercritical here,
Yeah.
but let's just look at something here. What was the biggest draw with Arcade 1-Up's Pinball?
What was the biggest draw? The licenses, the titles.
The titles and the way the cabinet looked, right?
Mhm.
Can we agree on that?
I agree. Yeah, their
Okay.
cabinets were pretty. They were
The
pretty.
biggest complaint with Arcade 1-Up's Zen pinball tables was what? Besides that they were 720p.
Say that part again. I missed the last
I
half.
said, what was the biggest complaint with the Arcade 1-Up pinball besides it being 720p? What was the biggest complaint?
How small the screens were.
How small the screens were and how pixelated it looked for that
Right.
resolution.
Yeah.
My biggest fear right now, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but again, setting the expectation is we were told with Arcade 1-Up that they were going to, everything was going to be crisp. There wasn't going to be latency. When you start dealing with, not to get geeky, but hertz and frames per second, you're introducing flipper lag. I mean, we went through that with Toy Shock, right? So
Mhm.
my biggest fear is, yeah, you're getting a 4K AtGames pinball, but I just thinking out loud here, I'm thinking Zen's going to have a 1080p board on a 4K pinball, and it's just going to be upscaled. That's my fear. And you spend all this money on a new table.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the 60 frames per second. We play these all the time, the Star Wars and the Marvel. We every Saturday night, like tonight, we'll be playing them. But my biggest fear, man, is we're gonna run into that problem where it's gonna be a 1080p game on a 4K machine, and it's just gonna be upscaled.
I understand that completely, and we'll have to see once more of these products get into other people's hands and they're able to actually test and
Yeah.
do all that stuff.
Well, and Goofy Foot's got a good comment in there. Pull that one up.
Yep, and actually they did confirm at least how long it's going to take to get all these different cabinet skins released, which we're going to dive into the press release now. I just wanted to get through the video. So I thought it was an important note that when you look at that video, that it sounds like there's going to be multiple versions of this pinball machine, as well as I think they've already confirmed an option to get it with or without the additional uh feedback. Like
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
What's the
think
price on that limited edition one? Did they say?
well, it sounds like the only one that's going up for pre-order is going to be this Addams Family one during the Cleveland Gaming Classic
And that's
for
the
10
limited. That's a limited edition, I'm assuming, right? Yeah.
5,000. So
And that's the 1098 price tag that I've seen in the chat room here.
yep, 1099 if you order that weekend. After that weekend, the price goes up, which we're going to kind of dive into.
Okay.
So,
And then the regular pinball, the standard one, what did they say the price was going to be on that?
the full price is going to be 1499, 1500
Oh,
bucks. Yep, that's the confirmed now full price if you don't get it during one of the pre-order sales. Yep,
wow. And how much do you have to put down? 500?
200 deposit.
$200 deposit.
Mhm.
Not to sway anybody and not to say anything, but I with AtGames, when you do the deposits, do we need to bring up the boards that everybody deposited money down and then it was just canceled? Like, I don't know, man.
I just became aware of that this morning. Someone messaged me and said, "Hey, PDubs, did you notice that they canceled the upgrade boards?" Which
Which
that
is
was it.
smart.
Which here, let's take this off the screen because this is actually a little interesting talking point.
Yeah.
Um, why do you think it was smart that they canceled the upgrade
Because you
boards?
can't just throw any 4K monitor. PK stated you can't just throw any 4K monitor on your AtGames Legends Pinball version 1 It needs an LVDS. I mean, you could do the conversions, but even then, it may not work. That was what was stated. So getting rid of this, I think it would have been a support nightmare for AtGames. So I think it was kind of smart. And for the price, what was it, $350, $400 or something like that?
Yeah, just for the board to either stick in your Legends Ultimate arcade machine or your current pinball machine.
Yeah, spend the $600 extra and just buy the machine that you know it's going to work for if you're in the market for it. And honestly, I know people say that they have a hard time. I think I could sell my AtGames pinball faster than I could sell any of my one-ups. I really think that.
Yeah, yeah.
One-ups are hard to sell.
Yeah, whenever I see someone post an AtGames Legends Ultimate or pinball machine on the marketplace, they usually go pretty quick because I think a lot of people who look them up and say, "What is that thing?" They find out what they can do with them.
Yeah.
Bringing your own games and stuff, and then they just jump all over them. Versus, I log into OfferUp at Facebook Marketplace every day because I'm always hunting for arcades and pinballs and stuff, and I see the same like guy, his Mortal Kombat 2 arcade went up. It's been listed for 3 months. No one's buying it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you have a PC on your AtGames pinball, don't you?
I have a PC underneath it, so
Okay.
so for
So
OTG mode.
why would you want to upgrade to the 4K version?
Well, that's the thing. I have of the PC. I got the Pinball FX3 and the Pinball FX. I have the buy stuff deluxe monitor. You know what I mean? The back
Oh, the
box.
back box. Yeah.
I added the Cleveland solenoids. Like I've done the surround sound feedback stuff. Like it has pretty much everything that the what they got coming out,
Right.
right?
Minus the
So
skin.
right. So, but then again, there's people out there who don't want to do all those mods, and this new machine comes with all that stuff. So that's kind of like the target customer for these people. $5
Yeah.
super. Let me run through this real quick.
Yeah,
Five
go ahead.
dollars super chat from Nicholas. People don't realize how good your OTG PC is going to have to be for Pinball FX at 4K, more demanding than FX3, and a $450 B-Link device is not going to cut it. That's
Agreed.
absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Because I was thinking myself, maybe getting a smaller PC that I could put in the back of there. I'm not afraid to do that and like work with Buy Stuff Store with the back box if I want to go that route and upgrade it. But my thing is, it has to be easy. Okay. One of the things that I've related to Buy Stuff Stores with the Ridge Racer and Star Wars mods. Sometimes it's a little difficult for people to navigate.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing you got to think about when people are saying just throw a PC in it. As long as you can start it up and your kids or anybody can just start it up and play the games, that's great. But
Yeah.
what AtGames is doing by buying the machine, right, is making it simple that you turn it on and get right into the games, right? No configurations.
Yeah. Vaisel's got a great point here. The canceling of the upgrade board also had something to do with the license with Zen. Zen will get money from the cab sales. Just a
Oh,
thought. So
yeah.
if you think about it, when they announced they were doing upgrade boards, I was one of the people that was singing praises about that because no other company in this niche was giving people an upgrade path, a way for you to spend less money to end up with near to the same result as a newer product, right?
Mhm.
So it was nice in my opinion, it was nice they were doing that. Let's be honest, guys. This isn't the COVID time anymore. People, and also with the recession and stuff, people don't really have the money to spend on $1,000 machines. So
Yep.
being able to spend a few $100 and improve your experience, in my opinion, was a win. Now AtGames is taking that away. Why are they taking it away? Well, in my opinion, although, yeah, it would logically, like you said, Stephen, be a support nightmare because people who really don't know how to upgrade are going to be swapping in boards, swapping out boards. They're going to be breaking stuff. Stuff's not going to work. I could see that being a whole mess, like you said. But
W
honestly, the upgrade boards are probably going to cannibalize sales of the actual
It it would.
machines.
But
Yeah.
look at what you had to deal with back when we
Yeah.
were the first ones to get the new pinballs, right? They had that real weird LVDS connector in it, right? And it was very brittle. Like even mine, like once you connect it, you don't disconnect it. Like you leave it connected. Um, AtGames had a problem with that in the beginning, and I still say the support nightmare outweighs even them making money because they're going to have to send it out under warranty to these people who are essentially going to break their machine because they're not going to know how to upgrade it. So,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I think it was smart in that sense for them because they got to honor it with Zen. If Zen's making money on the cabinets because they're licensed and everything like that, you got
Yep.
to do what your licensor wants.
Excuse me. So also, speaking of that warranty, they're giving a 1-year warranty on this thing with your pre-order purchase. So if you lock in a pre-order, you're going to get a 1-year Legends Care warranty on your pinball machine. So in my opinion, at least that's a win. But also keep in mind, guys, the cost of these warranties and expected tickets and
Yeah.
the cost of them knowing, like, okay, let's just say, for instance, 5% of our machines have issues. Like, that's all built in, like,
Yeah.
into their expected costs and overhead, which is another reason the price is higher on these machines, is you're paying for the warranty. It's built in. It's built into that purchase price, in my opinion.
Did they give a shipping date? I know originally they were saying that it was going to be at the Cleveland Classic. We get to play it, whatever. Now they moved it to Chicago, and it's still going to be not the finalized version in October. You and I both have stated probably not till 2024. We've both we were in agreement with that. But have they given a solid? You
Well,
pre-order,
they said the pre-orders, if you
right?
pre-order the first wave, expected deliveries December to January. I'm thinking January.
Well, the
But if
reason I'm
people get
saying
them
that,
before Christmas, that would be lovely, right?
the reason I'm saying that is remember when ALP1 first launched, right? They said before Christmas.
Uh,
If you guys go back, I have different memes and stuff on there. PDubs was laughing because I had a picture on my mailbox because they delivered my bottom part of the table, but not the top part. It was stuck in customs for like
oh
10
yeah,
days. And I put on the sign on my mailbox, please, postman, deliver my top box. And I had a picture of
I
that.
remember.
And I got it, a couple days after New Year's, I got it because I wanted it for New Year's. And
Yeah,
you got the opposite at first, right? You got your top box, but you didn't get your bottom box.
yeah, that was fun. Hopefully, these things ship in a single box, but I'd be surprised if they do. Excuse me, a single box. I think when Wagner packaged these up and shipped them back to AtGames, there were 2 boxes, so it might be a 2-box thing again.
Ugh.
Standard price $1,500. The pre-order guys, you're going to get $400 off September 22nd, with the first round of shipments scheduled to reach owners hopefully. And keep in mind, this is hopefully by December 31st. So I'm going to have to put a poll in the live chat because again, this is about the community
Yeah.
responding here. Oh, let me stop sharing
Sorry,
my screen.
I'm laughing here at the
Yeah.
the comments. They thought I was building a bomb.
What? Why would you be
No,
building a bomb?
no, I don't know. That was one of the comments. That's why they
Uh,
didn't send it. But I will say, and I will continue to say, as somebody, I've stopped covering Arcade One Up. I just don't care anymore. I'm still interested in the home arcade space, but not like I used to be. And one thing I could say that everybody has said when they've come over and played is that the AtGames machine is built the best out of any machine with the glass top. There's no
yeah.
streaks in it like the Arcade One Up. It's solid. That's what my only complaint with it is the back box on the AtGames. It's really flimsy with the 2 bolts. That's my only thing.
Yeah, I do like the buy stuff back box that I put on it. It just
I'm
made
gonna
it
have to
look so
talk to
much.
them.
It made it look so much better. I put a poll in the live chat, guys. I said, "How do you guys feel about the 14.99 MSRP?" Keep in mind, yes, it's going to be on sale for 10.99, and we can't complain about a sale price. Like,
No,
they don't have to do that.
they don't have to do that.
They could just put this thing up for sale for 14.99, but they want to get sales, right? So that's why they're doing it at an introductory discounted price, which you have to admit that's nice. But do you guys think that that price is good? Like, let's just say if you miss the sales, considering what you're getting with this
What was the
machine,
original price? $5.99 when the first one came out?
5.99. This one's about double. Yeah,
It's
more than
over
double.
double. It's
Over
over
double.
double.
Yeah.
So being fair,
Well, hold on. Wait a minute, though. That was the price back then, and then with everything that happened during
it
COVID and
went up to
stuff,
$8.99, right?
yeah, that's like now the new MSRP of the standard edition.
Okay. So let's think about this logically. Okay, let's everybody even in the chat room. Okay,
Mhm,
the original ALP versus the 4K,
mhm.
double the price. What are you getting that justifies doubling that price? If that's what Zen's markup is to pay for the licenses and that's what people want, then I guess the value is there. It's all what people want, right?
Mhm.
Um, my thought initially was I think it should have been like $12.99. I think that would have been the sweet spot for it, regular price, and then maybe you do a pre-order for like $8.99 or nine, $1,000. I'm not complaining. Everything's gone up in price. I can't fault AtGames for that. Um, I think $14.99 though. I think that's kind of steep for a VPIN that's not really up to spec for 4K. If I'm going to be honest, you throw 120 hertz in there, I will pay $14.99 all day long. That's
Okay.
just my opinion. Maybe some other people in here disagree, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
fair enough, fair enough. Good stuff there. I put up a quick poll in the live chat. We don't want these polls to dominate the entire stream. So when you guys see them pop up, make sure you answer as quickly as possible. I said, how do you guys feel about the $1,500 MSRP? And remember, guys, this thing's coming with the solenoids, 3 screens. Uh, a lot of them will have the cute Zen Studios artwork on them, things like that. How do you guys feel about it? Let's see what the live chat said. 57% said no, as in they don't like it. 31% said maybe, like it's expensive, but maybe. 10% of the viewers said yes, they do
yeah.
think like the price is fair, the 1,400. But all right, but how do you guys feel about 1099?
Pitbull, tell us how you really feel. I think you need to pull that comment up. I think he speaks for a lot of people with that.
They can suck it for 1,500. Ouch.
I
All
mean,
right.
I'm just being real. Like I think he's spot on with that.
Yep. So exactly, Bobby. So this is what I was talking about. And keep in mind, I am about that much into the Legends pinball machine that I have behind me, which we were talking about on Super Game Room Dudes. If you buy this at 1099, and let's just say you want to get it at 1099 because you want to get it on
Mhm.
sale, you want to save some money, and you're like, I don't like the Addams Family artwork, I'll reskin it. Well, just reskinning it from these guys who do pinball cabinet artwork, it's going to cost you like it's going to be like a $200-300 artwork package. Now you're back up to where you would have been anyway if you had
Yeah,
just waited for, let's just say,
Sabos is probably gonna be $400-500.
let's just say, for instance, you really like what's a great Zen game? Indiana Jones. Like, I'm going to buy this, turn it into Indiana Jones. It's going to
Sure.
cost you that much money to turn it into Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? Versus, again, they said they're making 15 special editions of these cabinets. So there's going to be a lot of artwork options on there. Never hurts to wait and get the one
So Bobby's
that you
all
want.
in at the 1099. Bobby, are you all in? If you didn't pre-order, if that wasn't an option, are you all in at that $14.99 price point? I think there's a lot of people because, like I said, the price $12.99, $11.99. I think that's a fair price. Them coming in at $10.99 for pre-order for people, yeah, I mean that's a good price. Is it a good price for me? No. So he just said no. $14.99. So I think we all agree that $1,500 for this outside of the pre-order is way too high for this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling anybody. Like I'm really not interested in it. I'm more
Yep.
interested in doing the PC side of it if I'm going to do it. With my current one and keep it 1080, but get that frames per second, right? But at $1,000, they give me, 120 hertz. They revise it, but then it still goes up to 1,500. Maybe you'll get me to pre-order. Maybe. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. I think Sam's. A lot of guys are saying about Sam's dubs. If Sam's gets it now, this is MSRP. Sam's could change that price. They could drop it, or they could raise that by a couple $100.
Yeah, if they manufacture a bunch of these, and just like the Legends Ultimate, the pinball machine in the past, don't forget, guys, Sam's Club usually loves carrying these as seasonal products. And what does Sam's Club always do? They bring them in. They might bring them in $50 less or something like that than like a small deal when they first hit the floors. But then Sam's Club is quick to discount these out in their stores. So that's
I got
another
the
thing to
Legends. I wasn't gonna upgrade my Legends Ultimate. I had the one version 1.0 that we had received as review units, right?
right.
I had that. I wasn't gonna upgrade it, but I wanted that 4-player control panel.
Yeah.
And AtGames was like, "Well, it won't work on the Legends 1.0." But then guys in the groups were like, "You can get them at Sam's Club for it was discounted for $2.99." I thought that was a steal. And then they did the price
Yeah.
match. I literally got mine for $130, the 1.2.
Um,
That's a
also,
steal.
also, so for instance, I can see Sam's Club getting these things, and they're like, okay, they're 1,500 each, and they put them on their sales floor. If they collect dust, and if the general consumer walking through just doesn't pick these up, I can see them like knocking these things down to like 800-900 bucks. You know what I mean? To get them out of the store, get them done. Um, so that's also something to think about as well, guys. Is we've seen it happen before many times with AtGames products. If these end up in a retailer, they usually end up closing them out pretty quickly. They don't just sit there at the same price for like a year before the store starts to
Yeah.
discount them. They usually do it within a few months.
Pitbull
Um,
says, "I'd rather have any real pin over a virtual one." I get that, but not
yeah.
everybody has room for a real pin.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, console fanboy, the entire real pinball community agrees that real pinball prices are absolutely absurd,
They
especially in the
are.
last couple of years. Some of these pinball manufacturers are potentially taking advantage of consumers, and the consumers keep making purchases. And if the consumers hold fast, maybe they can get the prices to come down. Just a couple of years ago, premium pinball machines were like $5,000-6,000 just a few years ago. Now these things, premium versions are 10 grand. And it's a real pinball machine. It's not a virtual pinball machine. You know what I mean? So it's going to be more expensive to build, manufacture, and all that anyway.
Well,
But
did you
yeah,
see the other day?
real pinball prices are insane right now. So
Did
yeah,
you
for
see the
sure.
other day, Marvel versus Capcom 2 was at Walmart for 2 hours
Mhm,
at $2.99 with the riser. They did like one of those flash sales that was only temporarily
mhm.
up. I seen people were getting them for $2.99, and us dummies bought it back back when the pre-order and stuff. So I agree with people in the chat room with this. If it hits the stores, I could see it going down to $1,000 or $800 if you don't really need it. I,
If you're
I
not in
don't
a
know.
rush, be patient. Be
I'm
patient.
with you though. I want to see what the other skins would be because I mean, Addams Family is cool. I like the game, but I'm not really nostalgic for it.
Well, you're going to have to wait a while. So, for instance, they said AtGames and Zen are going to release 15 exclusive FX SKUs or skins. And keep in mind, guys, this is between 2023 and
Oh, so
2025.
2 years. Oh,
So, it's going to take a long time for each of these machines to come out. Sounds like a few per quarter. You know what I mean? It'd be really, really cool if they just said, hey, guys, here's the list. You know, would you guys like that? Would you like them just to be transparent and say, here's the list? So
I
that way you
would.
know. I don't think they would release the list because then people aren't gonna buy the machines that are available today.
But I think if you're going to put a deposit down for
Yeah.
$200, you should choose what skin that you want. And if you have to wait till 2024 for them to release that IP, like I would like a Back to the Future or Jaws one. I think that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
really cool.
Oh, Back to the Future or Jaws one? Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
100%. I
Yeah,
even yeah, for the skin, man.
yeah. You know they're not gonna release that list, but I wish they would. That way people kinda know. Or you know what? That's a kind of a crazy, funky idea. Haywood. I kind of like that idea. Say, here's the list. Give us your 200 bucks and we'll let you know by 2024 when your
Why don't
machine
you
is
I
when
know
your
you don't
machine is
I'm
shipping.
serious, I listen, I know you don't wanna do polls, but put that in a poll. Would you would you pre-order if you had the list? I don't know how you wanna word it, but if you had the list because if somebody that was a diehard Jaws fan and they wanted that pinball and PK says, "Well, that's not gonna ship till Q3 of 2024." But if you put your deposit down during CGC, that guarantees you one of those IPs. I think a lot of these people that want are on the fence about this, but know that they could get that artwork, they might do it.
All right, real quick, results of the last poll were: will you pre-order at 10.99? 43% of the viewers said no, 35% of the viewers said yes, 21% said maybe. So if you add in the maybes to the yeses, you're getting closer to potentially of like a 50-50 split there. I just put a poll in. If you guys had the list, and this is what we're asking. Let's say AtGames says, "All right, here's the 15 games." But keep in mind, if you want Back to the Future, you can give us your $200 deposit now to help us finance and lock in your reservation and help us finance building and developing that machine. But you're not going to get that machine until like 2024, you know what I mean, or
Mhm.
2025.
Right.
Which, by the way, gives you plenty of time to save up that $1,000 price tag, right? $50 a month, throw it in the savings
There
account.
you
This is
go.
going to
Yeah.
that pinball machine. Would you guys like pre-order like the day they launch it? Like, would you guys pre-order and wait your year and a half, 2 years? Would you guys do that if that was the case? And throw it in there, guys. Let me know what you think. That's a very interesting point that Haywood made. And man, it's right now the votes are coming in fast and furious, and it's like 50-50, yes, no, yes, no.
Well, I I
I
I think I think it's gonna be the people that are diehard Zen fans that are gonna do the pre-ordering. Guys that are on the fence that maybe have the version 1, they might be like, "Let's just see how this plays out."
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Are you pre-ordering? You never said. Are you thinking about pre-ordering?
Well, I have like another week to chew on it. So, I
What are you
mean,
leaning toward?
the Addams family is cool and all, but
You wanna see what the other IPs are.
I kind of want to see what the other skins are. You know what
Yep,
I mean? If I'm gonna make that, if I'm gonna make that jump. Uh, Now let's get this poll going here.
yep, and there's always issues with the new models, and you guys, if you remember when we did Legend Center, one of the biggest issues that we had, member dubs, for the first 3 weeks was the left flipper missing every other hit.
Yeah.
And people were even commenting, if we would have gotten our pinball machines, it gave AtGames plenty of time to fix it before consumers got them. People would have been like, we would have been mad. We spent all that money and our machine didn't work.
Yeah. So hang on a second. So he was saying it's only one skin of the 15. I thought they were only skin one of the 15 Zen preloaded games. I don't recognize any of the other games. So there's 15 games that are going to be preloaded on the machine. Only one of them is a Zen game, and that's going to be the Addams family.
Right.
Everything else is there's Zakaria games made by Magic Pixel and
No,
stuff
because
like
you have to
that.
pay for the other ones.
Yeah, yeah. So, but in their press releases, Zen Studios says they're going to make 15 different SKUs over the next 2 years as these games are ported over onto the Legends platform. Which, guys, we're going to start diving into the FAQs and very important need to know information here in just a couple of minutes. I just wanted to show off one thing real quick for those who I know there's been a lot of content out there, but maybe you've missed it, maybe you aren't aware. So let's go ahead and pull up the spec sheet right here, just so you guys are aware of what's going on.
And, and,
Let me,
and to be fair, Dubs, with your poll on whether people would pre-order, this is assuming they give us the final renders of the artwork of those
oh
15 machines, because we all know AtGames likes to change things at the
yeah,
last minute.
and by the way, also people who got the first couple of batches of the Legends pinball had to wait months for all of the features to be fully implemented. Do you remember this? Like when we got the pinball
Yep,
machines, OTG wasn't even ready. You couldn't
yep,
even do OTG
couldn't do
mode,
it.
things like
Nope,
that.
nope.
Things got added over time. These 4K machines, getting yours early is going to be great, especially if you save money. It's going to be exciting. But hopefully, AtGames will, because a lot of this has been developed and they're just, but then again, they're moving everything to this 4K platform. Hopefully, it's not going to be you're waiting months for all the features of the machines to work. Hopefully. But there's also something to think about as well. Let's just take a quick look at the specs here in case if anyone's new to this and they haven't caught all the great content that many YouTubers have been putting out the last couple of days about this, or I should say the last 12 hours, because this came out 12 hours ago, but here's everything that it comes with, of course. You're going to get your Arc a Rockchip 3588 CPU, 64 gigabytes of internal storage. So any games that they release that you'll purchase and download on their game packs, you're going to have plenty of storage to get all those games on the machine without having to plug in a flash drive, set up flash drive X, all that nonsense. You'll just be able to download them to the machine and they run. If you have a Legends Pinball Micro like I do, well, you can do this already on the Legends Pinball Micro, and it's such a better experience versus plugging in flash drive, setting up flash drive X, and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. You're going to get your 32-inch 4K playfield. You're going to get your integrated back glass with a 24-inch high definition display. You're going to get an 8-inch DMD, 3.5-inch audio speakers, which sound pretty good. Make sure you guys check out Wagner's Tech Talk videos for some gameplay and sound examples. And I have to say that when he did a couple of videos showing off the 4K tables, the tables looked way better than they do on the standard editions. They looked way more cleaner, way much closer to console ports of these games. You know what I mean? They looked so much better on the 4K machine than they did on the standard edition, which is expected. And what's nice too about the Addams family is you're getting a cute topper. I'm assuming Zen is going to put a topper on all of these machines. On all of these machines, it wouldn't surprise me if they do. All right, did I end a poll?
Yeah, somebody was even Scott B in the chat room says, "I'm curious if that topper is going to be lit. Seems like a cool addition." Yeah, I
All
just hope it looks. I hope it works and it looks nice. And the other thing is, I hope the artwork stays on the machine.
Console fanboys asking what is the OTG? So OTG means pretty much it means USB on the go, right? So you're able to connect your PC to it and get all your controls working, your nudge buttons, your flipper buttons, your plunger, all that stuff. It's when you bring your own PC to run your own games on the device.
Like my back box is starting to peel
Mhm.
the graphics, and nobody messes with it. Nobody touches it. So that's
Well,
another fear.
this is a great question from Hoots. Do you think the earlier bird price of 1100 will be available for any of the exclusive skins and tables, or are they only doing it because this is the first one Adams family? In my opinion, they're kind of setting the bar right now, and when new skins come out, maybe they should do this every single time. Like, hey, new skin launching, here's the sale price for a couple of days. Get in or miss out. And I think that they should continue to do that as they release. As they release.
They might do it
If
for Nod.
or they'll do National Owners Day deals and they'll
Yeah.
knock a few $100 off. You know how AtGames does it, right? One thing that I would like them to answer is whether or not they're going to charge people for shipping these products due to their larger size, weight, and probably coming in two boxes. It would really suck if, hey, you paid 1100, but now we need $150 shipping charge or something.
I'd
That
bet
would
on it.
be. I mean, they never made it clear that they would ship these things for free. I really hope they subsidize and get that shipping for free for consumers.
Skip the topper and cut $100 off.
Otherwise, some people might wait until Sam's Club, right? And that way they don't have to pay for shipping. So all right, let's go over some let's take a look at the built-in games list
Well,
real quick.
wait. Before you
Yep.
do that, you just mentioned Sam's Club. The other benefit of that is like you've had where it shows up broken. Now what are you going to do? You got to send it back to AtGames, or if it's broken, you can take it back to Sam's.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, I mean, I broke it, not at games. I broke it during assembly.
No. But I'm saying like you've had machines like Golden Tee show up broken.
Oh, well, if you get it from the retailer, they're going to tell you to take it back to the retailer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, so if you can get
Yeah.
it Sam's, you can just, you're not waiting months, is what I'm saying. You're not waiting months
Yeah.
for them to ship it back to you. So,
All right, super chat $10. I would absolutely pre-order if I could choose the skin. Godzilla versus Kong, Jaws, Aliens would get my money ASAP. If I had to wait longer, I can wait. So see, there are some people out there who'd be like, you know what? If you're going to give me that Back to the Future machine and it'll be June of 2024, I'll give you my deposit today. You know what I mean? Look at how far in advance people put down deposits for, like, Stern pinball machines. The pinball machine is not the pinball machine, the pinball community, they're willing to put down money and wait for their stuff to arrive.
Sure.
That's for sure. Alright, so these are the, 4K games that are ready to go. John Wagner showed these off on his video. So these are the games that are gonna be included. And it's important to remember, and we're gonna dive into this with the need to know information in just a second, guys. These games, come with the machine, and any other game packs you own, universal game packs, universal pinball packs, none of those will run on the new 4K platforms. So if you're like, "Man, I really, really love the, Natural History game pack," let's just say, like, Natural History Game Pack 2, which is gonna be coming out. Well, you're gonna have to buy it for the 4K pinball machine. Um, if you have it for the high definition machines, it's not gonna transfer. It's even though it's universal, it's not gonna transfer to the new 4K platform. So you will have to buy. Oh man, I really love the Zakaria Table Pack 1. I really love those games, right? Well, guess what? You're gonna have to buy them all over again on the 4K machine. So just a heads up there, guys. They are not transferable, these game packs. So you're gonna have to spend even more money getting these games. What is nice though is they're doing the Addams Family, they're doing the Natural History game pack, and they're doing all deluxe Zakaria games, if you guys notice here. So they're not going with any of, like, combat, like the basic games, basic robot. They're at least throwing the deluxe. They really want to show off, I guess, the power of the machine and what it can do and the type of games it can run with this selected games list. So just a heads up there. But let's go. So right here. So I don't think anyone's really covered this. And there is some huge information in here, guys, and this might help you make a purchasing decision, which is why I wanted to do this. So let's kind of run through this and also get Steven's reaction to some of this stuff. So let's go full screen here so people can actually see it. All right, so how many tables are going to be built in? 15 tables, all in 4K format. Now, can players download digital tables for the Legends Pinball Standard Edition? Yes, players will have the ability to purchase Zen Studios and AtGames tables ported to and published in Legends 4K format from on-device purchases and the AtGames e-store. So yes, like we said, Zen Studios is going to take some of their games, whichever games they've licensed out to AtGames, and they are going to port them onto, like, make an Android version of the game that will run on the hardware. So it's not going to be the same version you own on console, on um, your PC, Epic, Steam, etc. They're making versions of those games specifically made and optimized to run on the AtGames hardware. And I can't wait to see what they actually look like running on the AtGames hardware. Hopefully, they look pretty good. Will Zen's in-game purchases be supported? Yes, Legends 4K will have a payment gateway to an API to implement in-game on-device buying of Zen games from the AtGames eStore. So don't let that confuse you guys. Once again, it's the same thing as the question above. You're not going to be able to just buy this machine, access the Zen Studios store, and start downloading Jaws and ET and all that stuff immediately. Not unless they make a specific port for this AtGames machine that runs on the hardware. So you have to wait until each of these games is individually released. I've already paid for all these Zen tables on Steam. Do I have to buy them again? Yes, because once again, these are native ports and will take advantage of the Legends Pinball features. And keep in mind, they're going to be optimized to run on the hardware. Will other non-Zen pinball tables be available in 4K? All 160 games that AtGames has released so far, all their original tables, which means your Zakaria, your Taito, your Natural History, your Dr. Seuss, all of those games will eventually be converted to the 4K format and sold separately. So you will have to buy, if you already own all 160 games like I do, you will have to buy the games all over again. What are your thoughts so far, Stephen?
I just keep checking my email I just want to make sure that I'm not getting an email from Mel Kirk because he because Mel Kirk has a history of attacking YouTubers when they say their opinion. So I'm being very cautious with how I say things.
Oh, well, we
That's
have a
that's another reason I have a hard time supporting this 100%.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for the email from Mel Kirk that says, "I'm sorry that I went after you and PDubs unfoundedly during Legend Center." I just want to put that out there because um, I, I have a feeling he's watching, and I want to make sure that that's very very clear. That Mel, I haven't forgotten about that, and I think you owe us both an apology for that. Just throwing that out there. Now back to Legend Center. Um, no, I there was a comment in here about things not the latency and all that stuff is unfounded. I want to stress that I was not stating that about the Legends 4K. I said I was fearful of it based
Yeah.
on, let me state this, based on how their implementation with Arcade 1-Up was. So let's make sure we understand that. The
Yep.
pixelation is coming from the Arcade 1-Up. If you don't think that's pixelated, boy, you're drinking your own Kool-Aid.
All right, let's keep going because I want to make sure I don't think a lot of people read these FAQs, and these FAQs have huge information in them. And a lot of questions I've seen people ask already on Facebook, Discord, on comments on YouTube videos, a lot of those questions are answered right here. So, for instance, you have an At Games Legends Pinball today, or arcade machine, or Gamer Pro, Gamer Mini, Legends Ultimate Mini. You have one of their dozen devices. Will you be able to play the new Zen games? The answer is no. The Zen games are only coming to the 4K devices. So, the new 4K arcade machine, the new 4K pinball machine, you're not going to be able to play those games on the original Legends hardware, probably due to hardware limitations.
So let's just say right now, even though AtGames said they're going to continue support on the HD, eventually it's like everything else. It's going to stop.
Yep.
You're not going to get new games for the older pinball.
Yep. Keep in mind, guys, this machine's going to weigh 122 pounds. And of course, it's larger than your existing pinball machine with bigger legs as well. So it's definitely going to actually look and feel more like a real
Nice.
pinball machines. Again, you're going to have 3 displays, and finally, they did confirm right here in the FAQ that it is going to be 4K playfield at 60 frames per second, high def backglass, high def DMD. The pre-installed Zen tables and their tables available for purchase will be on the App Store X or from the At Games e-store for. So that's, you're going to buy them the same way you bought all your other pinball games uh, so far. Here's another question people were asking, like, well, are they going to get rid of OTG mode because of Zen? Well, Zen has always supported the
Mm-hmm.
DIY pinball community, guys. So why would Zen come in and say, no, you're not, we'll work with you, but you can't use VPX or Future Pinball anymore. Zen loves the DIY community. They've always supported the DIY community for building your own cabinets. So yes, yes, and yes, they're still going to have your OTG mode for bringing your own PC and running your own games, and the separate surround sound feedback kit will support OTG mode as well. And once again, they remind you that the 4K games are only going to work on the 4K devices,
Mm.
and all those packs that you already own and spent money on, those will not work on the 4K devices.
Oh, no
And
Dr. Seuss in 4K?
well, until they release a 4K version.
I'm
Yep.
just being funny.
So you're gonna have to buy it all over again. Will there be dedicated Legends 4K leaderboards? The answer is yes, of course, because you're gonna have all the Legends, the same leaderboards we have today on all of the pinball games. Will the pre-installed tables for 4K will they receive? Yes, yes. If an update's released, just like all your games that run natively on the At Games today, if there's a table update, like they just did a table update for Gottlieb games, but then again, not for the pinball machine, they'll push that update out to your machine. Will a built-in pinball game update require firmware update? No, it does not. It never has. If a table game pack has an update, it's not a firmware update. It's just an update to the game pack. Let's see here. Anything else on here? I thought I saw a couple other things too. I don't like to update firmware, but will I have to update the firmware? Yes, you will need to update the firmware. It is not a recommendation, but a requirement to
Okay, so
update
you
to the
just lost
latest
a lot of pre-orders right there,
to
because there's a
ensure
lot
the
of guys that won't do that.
well, I mean, if you think about when new games come out on systems, there's always firmware updates that
Oh,
are
no,
pushed with games,
I
you know?
yeah, no, I get it.
AtGames isn't the only one that does that. That many consoles require firmware updates in order to, have games run. So
Mhm.
that's pretty normal. So a lot of people were asking about the Pinball FX leaderboards. So the actual Pinball FX leaderboards aren't going to be linked to these native ports, but the leaderboards will be linked to the AtGames leaderboards. Will you be able to play in Zen Studios tournaments? No, because you're not playing on like the Nintendo Switch Zen Studios, and you're not playing on that. So you're not going to have access to like the Nintendo Switch tournaments, but you'll be able to participate in any native AtGames tournaments. So it says here they're going to host some. So stay tuned. Apparently we're going to get some, but we got to stay tuned. Let's
Doesn't
see here.
matter doesn't matter, YouTubers don't play in tournaments anyways. Don't you know that?
Say that part again.
I said YouTubers don't play in we don't even play these games, so what it doesn't even matter if there's tournaments or not, if they work.
Yeah.
So, we're good, keep going.
Yep. Yep. Uh, okay, so this is an interesting one. Why would anyone want to go back to the original AtGames user interface? So the new user interface, the one that Wagner showed off in his videos, that's the new 4K user interface.
Oh,
Some people were like, "Can I use the normal interface that I've been using the last couple of years?" No, you can't.
why would you want to?
Why? And also, why would you want to?
That's right.
The new user interface, although it's not spectacular, is way better than the original user interface. And this just confirms that eventually they're going to release pinball packs for Taito, Natural History, Dr. Seuss, Gottlieb, and Zakaria. And that's
Yeah.
all the FAQs. There's some great information in there which may impact some of your purchasing decisions. It might get you more excited, or it might make you say, hold on, let me think about it a little bit more, which is why we wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully, you guys found that beneficial.
Have you
Uh,
have you not squashed this whole coin ops being disappeared rumor? Everybody, there's a lot of comments coming in about coin ops gone after 5. I have 5 whatever the latest update is, and I still have coin ops, so
yeah,
I'm kinda
my
confused as is there something I don't know?
my machine here is on firmware 5.7, and my CoinOps X works.
Okay.
So
I didn't know if there was another update that came out in the past day or so that I missed.
no,
That's why I was going over to
some of the other third party stuff like Awesome Sauce stopped working,
oh,
but
certain
I
builds.
yeah, but I heard
Okay,
like the Awesome Sauce people have already figured out how to fix it. I don't know if they've released the fix yet or not. You'll have
okay.
to go back to them and see. But I mean, I don't think it's going away. I don't think it's going away. Michael B said he asked PK about it, and PK said that stuff's not going away. So
It might have been something that, like you said with the new UI, maybe they have to move some things around in order to import it into the new UI. I don't know, but like you said, why would you I wish we could get the new UI on these HD machines. I don't
I
wanna say older machines, but
I
the
mean,
HD machines.
they did release the note, the one thing about the general loader. So it just sounds like it's going to move from App Store X to the general loader, like all your CoinOps X and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what it sounds like
But
to
see,
me.
I don't even boot into CoinOps from this. It never really worked on my machine to boot directly into CoinOps. Like it will go to the menu, but it doesn't boot right into it because I don't know how your CoinOps is, but a lot of times when you hit it too soon after you boot up, it says, um, I have to get the necessary files and it takes a few minutes. It's propagating it, getting it ready for you, and then you have to hit it again.
Mm,
I don't know if it's just because I have a really big build of CoinOps with it. So but yeah, I've never had mine boot right into it, so it's not really a deal breaker for me.
yeah. So I put a poll in the live chat, guys. So over the last couple of years, AtGames has partnered with Magic Pixel to bring us Zakaria games and have many over 100 some Zakaria games ported to their platform. They partnered with Farsight Studios for Gottlieb, and now they got Zen Studios, and they're going to be bringing a bunch of Zen games, 15 or so, maybe more. It all depends on how successful this partnership is. Do you guys think they won these pinball wars? I mean,
For home arcade?
at least in the home arcade. Yeah, what do
Oh,
you think?
100%.
Yeah.
But I thought that before though too. And it's not just drinking the AtGames Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
After Arcade 1-Up came out, yeah, they had the IPs, but the quality just wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean when it first came out and they just had like the Gottlieb games. You remember the Toy 2 Gottlieb
Right.
games?
Everybody's like, "Well, how do I mod this thing?" Right?
Right.
The modding
We're gonna
community.
we're gonna give you Toy 2 Gottlieb games, but we're gonna give you the ability to bring your own PC and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So why don't we twist this a little bit here? And yeah, they might have won it right now, but that's not necessarily a good thing because then that slows down innovation, right? If you're not being challenged by another company to produce, you rest on your laurels and you think you're king and you're just eating. And then what happens is the product slowly
Yeah.
dies as far as quality and features, right?
Yeah. So what's interesting is we were talking about this on Super Game Room Dudes last night. Like, does this mean they'll no longer work with Arcade One Up? Zen Studios, in my opinion, is not the kind of company to exclusively work with
Right.
one platform. If they feel they can make money in the world of business, they'll
It's
make
all about
money.
that.
And I really don't think they would give AtGames any kind of exclusivity. In my opinion, this is like a premium product.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if they still work with Arcade One Up, and Arcade One Up becomes your, well, I mean, they already are, but your lower cost static
600.
machine. Like if they feel they can put 10 Zen games on it, make it look pretty and sell it, and if they feel you guys will buy it, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in the future, but not anytime soon because Cyrus himself from Arcade One Up has said they're really not looking at pinball right now. But does that mean it's dead? I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
think for a while it is.
If Zen Studios thinks they'll make a buck, they'll work with them.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's any company, right? Any company's gonna. The Biggie D said, he played Attack from Mars last night and had a good time with it. It's limited, but still enjoyable. Listen, we have a war going on right now on the Star Wars pinball. They're trying to beat my Darth Vader score, which is like I don't know 600 million points or something like that. And so like we've been going back and forth on you know all the different games on there. So even though they're pixelated, even though the plexi on top has streaks in it, we still have fun with it. Like you look past the shortcomings. We, the community here, we look at these shortcomings. I mean, that's just how it is, right?
Yeah,
Just like
we're nitpicky. We're a nitpicky bunch.
just like with Apple coming out with the new iPhone, you got all the tech heads going out there and saying, "Well, this is what's wrong with it. This is what they should have done in this and that." But you know what? The consumer and Apple are still going to go out and sell 80 to 90 million iPhones in the next year. So that's the reality, folks.
We got a $5 super chat from Shane. He says he knows he's behind on the chat, but yes, he would pay a deposit now to lock in a price to pick his skin, even if he had to wait to get it. So you may have started something there, Mr. Haywood. There's
Yeah,
at least half the chat agreed that they would like that. You know what I mean?
because
Like,
even you're only going to buy one of these machines, right? Because it
yeah,
is
you're
the
not gonna
regular
you're not
design,
gonna buy. It's not like Arcade One Up where you had to buy three until it got modded,
right?
thanks to Mystery Encoder. But you had to buy three machines to get 30 games.
Right.
Like here, you're only gonna buy one. And if you get Addams Family, and then like 2 months from now they say, "Hey, the pre-order's up for Back to the Future," you're gonna be
Yep.
like, "Damn it! But I got Addams Family." You know what I mean? Because you're only gonna get one. So yeah,
Or you
there you
buy
go.
it and then you sell it. That I
Yeah.
could see people doing that too.
Why not put the pre-order up with the list of skins, let people choose the skins, and then
I
you
agree.
say, and then
I
you
agree.
say, "Hey guys, just so you know, we're in development of the Star Trek skin. It'll
Right.
be 2 months. We're in development of the Back to the Future." I know it sounds overly complex, but man, that would be cool. At least from a
But then
customer,
you're wait, then you're gonna have the people
from a commute, from their point of view, probably a pain in the ass.
you're gonna have the people go like this. They're gonna say, "So why is Star Trek more important than Jaws? Why is Jaws pushed till 2024 and Star Trek I can get next?" Right? That's why AtGames is not doing that because they're gonna get
Yeah,
pushed back going,
yeah.
You know?
They're not gonna do it though, guys. They're not gonna tell us
No,
the
no.
15 or so skins. They're not gonna do it, but they should, because that would be awesome from a customer point of view. From their point of view, a pain in the ass, but from our point of view, it'd be awesome. It'd be
It
like,
would be,
okay, I got a list of 15 to choose from. Here's the one I want. Here's my $200, and if you keep it for 18 months, I don't care. I'll just wait for my machine to show up. Jim Pacers fan, took a break from mowing. Thanks for the content. Well, thanks for joining us. Um, and
AtGames, if you're listening, leak the list out.
yeah,
You can
leak it.
one up Arcade One Up for the next 3 weeks, because that's all people are going to talk about is the AtGames list, and everybody's going to forget about the 2024 Arcade One Up list.
Yeah.
This is smart marketing.
Well, in my opinion, this is probably the biggest partnership announcement
Oh, this is huge.
of
This
the
is
year.
awesome.
This is even bigger than AtGames and Rare, because let's be honest, not everybody likes Killer Instinct. Not everybody likes Battletoads.
Yeah.
This is the big. Do you guys think that this was the biggest thing that happened in this space so far this year? If you agree, give us a 1. If you disagree, give us a 0, and feel free to say what news or event happened in this space this year that you think is bigger. And I'm not talking drama stuff. I'm just talking like
Oh, yeah. No.
from business products. You know what I mean? Like biggest news of the year. I think this is huge. This
Yeah,
is
because even
massive.
if you're not an AtGames fan, let's say you never owned an AtGames product,
Yep.
this still grabbed your attention. I think if you're in this community, I think it grabbed your attention, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Yep.
Like for AtGames, because I mean, let's face this, right? Dubs,
Mhm.
AtGames has always been. People called him Shat Games. People said, AtGames can't make anything quality. I mean, for a quality company like Zen, putting my personal feelings aside, when you think of Zen pinball tables, you think of quality. I mean, let's just be honest. So, for them to want to partner, I think it's huge.
Yep. So Biggie D's here, and he asked a good question. I meant to talk about this because here I am about to wrap things up. Weren't they going to make rare pinball tables? Yes, those tables are coming. That's been announced. They're going to make a Killer Instinct, as well as they're going to make a Battletoads table. What's the pirate game again that everyone loves that I
Pirates of
never
the
played?
Caribbean.
No, no, no. The pirate. What's the pirate game, guys, on Xbox that they said they're going to make a table of? Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. Yeah, so that's still going to come. Now, here's what's interesting. Are they going to have Zen make these games or Magic Pixel make these games? Now they kind of get to pick and choose, right? Or is Zen just going to focus on theirs, or are they going to take some money from AtGames and help AtGames with these
Depends
projects,
on the deal.
or is AtGames just going to work with Magic Pixel? Either way, two great studios now shaking hands with AtGames. In my opinion, everything that happened in the last 24 hours is a win for us as gamers and as a community. Hats off to AtGames for making this happen.
So, did you see
Yeah.
the comment? I don't remember who said it, but it was back in there that said 4K is irrelevant unless the screen is over 42 inches. And I've been chewing on that since I saw it, because I don't know if I 100% agree with that. As somebody that, does a lot within the broadcast. I mean, you're stacking pixels,
Yeah.
and are you, unless they're trying to say like, you won't notice it as much unless it's a bigger screen.
I don't know. I don't know why people are don't like a 32-inch screen.
For home arcade, I think it's the right size. I think
Yeah.
AtGames nailed it the first time with that.
Yeah. I wouldn't focus so much on the size. It's what you do with it. My wife says it's a good size. So we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Well, hey guys,
I don't know if I want a bigger one.
how about real quick, guys? Steven and I were talking. Should we bring back an unofficial Legends show? Like, because
The unofficial Legends, where we're not, because AtGames doesn't know we did this.
Yeah, unofficial.
The unofficial Legends Center, where the tell all, right? Where we're not being steered one way or the other. And I'm sure if AtGames watches this, they're going to be like, but they're used to me, and they're used to my sense of humor, and they're used to my sarcasm. Take it with a grain of salt, but they might be like, no, you're canceled. You can't do that. Right. Copyright infringement. There it is. You got rid of your shirt, man. You'd have to get another shirt.
We'll order. Well, we have to get new shirts like that.
You got to get new shirts. Oh,
Unif-
Legends Underground. I like
we
that,
no
Bobby.
no no we put like unofficial legends. We gotta create new logos,
The
new
unofficial
assets.
official.
It would be crazy. It would be like a Saturday morning cartoon. Yep, there you go, Mickey D. But no, we're just horsing around there, guys. But you never know what the future might hold. Um,
Yeah,
all right,
because I still like my pinball.
yeah. Oh, someone mentioned that on Super Game Room Dudes last night. Someone mentioned the live chat. No, it wasn't someone else. It was Detroit Love. Detroit Love mentioned on Super Game Room Dudes. He brought up an awesome point. He goes, he was talking to me, Michael B, and Nostalgia. He said, I've been watching you guys for years, and I always see your backgrounds and like what machines you have behind you, and the machines come and go, things get moved around. So one machine is hot, and then the next machine is not, or it's not, and then you move it, trade it, sell it, whatever. He goes, but you guys have never gotten rid of your Legends pinball machines.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is true. And that made me think about it. Like, out of all the, these commercial home arcade products in my house, one thing that would be at the bottom of the list of machines I need to get rid of would be the Legends pinball. So it's a very excellent point, something to think about as well.
But there's one thing that they didn't do yet on the Legends Pinball 4K. They didn't put enough branding on it.
Ah. They needed to add about 9 more logos. I'm a little disappointed, Guys, how about a big shout out to my buddy here, Stephen Hay with the Tech Buzz, who I only gave 30 minutes notice to
He
jump
did.
on and stream with me today so we could talk about this stuff. Hopefully the information we gave you was informative and helpful. We don't want you to give into FOBO. We want you to think about all the facts over the next week
And we're
before you
just
make
having
a
fun.
before you make a purchasing decision. If you buy it, great. If you don't buy it, great. I don't care either way.
You see these comments coming in?
What are the
We're going to
comments?
send out some sticker packs for the branding.
Yep, guys, and I'm sure there will be a 2-year back order on stickers. I really need to change my sticker supplier, that's for sure. All right, guys, give us a thumbs up on the way out if you enjoyed the broadcast. If you caught this on replay, definitely give me your feedback and reactions below. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing. And in the words of Legend Center, we want you to stay legendary.